And it's really important because we want to win. We want to win.
Win what?
The argument, because we want to be right. I mean, I don't know. I'm maybe it's a rhetorical question because I don't know. I mean, like I say that kind of tongue in cheek, but they're like, I feel like our egos get involved.
Welcome to Startup Spouses, where we help entrepreneurial couples take their relationship from mediocre to mind-blowing. I'm Marie, a relationship and sex coach.
And I'm Adam. I'm a business coach.
And we're here today to discuss about having arguments.
Arguments?
Yes.
We are not. That's not what we decided.
Isn't it funny? I think it's funny right now, but isn't it funny that I can remember everything you do wrong in an argument?
Well, define funny. Because, like, for you, maybe it's funny, but I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know about me.
I can't remember where I put my phone all the time, but I can remember. And if, like, you didn't take out the trash one night when I asked you twice to do so.
I get it. I know. I took it out, didn't I?
Yes.
I took it out.
Okay.
I took it out. Yeah. Anyway, arguments.
Yes. So here's the thing. And we do this all the time. And I don't know if you notice this at all, but when we're upset and then we are talking together and we're trying to settle something, why do we do when we're upset and angry?
Why do we do
Why we're
it?
in that why?
I mean, sometimes we do.
No. I'm talking about having discussions and discussions like it, and because discussions turn into arguments when you're heightened stage, correct?
Yeah.
Or it's like true. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, that feels true. Absolutely.
Yeah. So why do we insist on continuing to talk to another person when we're not in the right state of mind? Why? Because we know we're going to hurt the other individual.
I have the answer for this, and I know. Okay, I have the answer, and it's really important because we want to win. We want to win.
Win what?
The argument, because we want to be right. I mean, I don't know. I'm maybe it's a rhetorical question because I don't know. I mean, like I say that kind of tongue in cheek, but they're like, I feel like our egos get involved. To say like, okay, no, we're entrenching on our viewpoint of this argument, right? I am attaching myself to it, and I'm willing to take this like a raccoon like jumping on the back of a horse and just riding into battle. I'm going to own this like position no matter what.
Yes.
I mean, and that doesn't just happen like in relationships. Look at the national stage.
Oh, we're not going to go there right now.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, I don't want to. But you can't even have an attorney general that speak the truth without freaking throwing arguments around like an idiot. But that's
or name calling.
Huh?
Why?
Like I just did?
Yeah, well, like so it's why do we do that to our loved ones? Why are we name calling them?
Yeah.
Why do we need to be right? Why what is going on right there that we need that and it's I feel like because I know I'm guilty of it all the time too.
Right.
It's like I need to prove this and I am the winner, but we hurt people along the way.
Well, how do you feel like? I mean, we've had our share of arguments in the past, of course, right? And I'm curious to know, like, because the anatomy of an argument, and I look back at like some of the doozies we've had, and we get into these arguments, and then I think that there's this first part where maybe it's getting elevated and our egos are getting entrenched and we just kind of want to get our way. or the other side of it is like that, like, you start escalating like your side of it, and then maybe I get defensive because I feel like I'm being attacked, and I feel like I have to defend because the fragility of my ego in that scenario is threatening to pull up whatever triggers or whatever past instances or whatever have happened to me that have led to that. And then down the next kind of pattern, which is like, okay, now we've got to battle it out because I've already kind of like put, I've already put the flags in the ground of like where my battle lines are drawn.
Yeah.
Right. And then it just goes out. So I think then we have this issue that's between us that that we're just like trying to punch at, but we're punching each other. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Well, like, what are your thoughts? I know you have a lot of experience in this with relationships and how you're helping couples, and I know you use them on me a lot. So how do we navigate that in a relationship?
So I think it's a pattern that we run.
Yeah.
With our significant other.
Mm-hmm.
We're heightened. We're upset. Mm-hmm. So we want to tell the other person what to do. Mm-hmm. And how they're doing us wrong. So we are in a heightened state. Mm-hmm. And then it's addictive.
Right. So that first.
What happens is I'm upset about something. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to come to you and tell you what you're doing wrong. Mm-hmm. And how you need to fix it. And that hits you as, I'm not enough. I'm not doing enough.
Yeah.
And then where does that, like, in your body, where do you feel that?
If I'm not enough?
Yeah, like when somebody, like, I'm saying, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you make dinner last night? Or, I asked you several times. You just need you can go and just pick it up at the store. What, like, sure. What's so difficult about that? Like,
yeah.
And what does that say to you?
So what that says to me is picking on that one little item mm-hmm. that I didn't do, is basically throwing out the window everything else that I did do mm-hmm. to try to be the best person I could.
Yeah.
In showing up in this place for everybody else. Mm-hmm. And so again, this is kind of where I think my personal insecurities or whatever kind of come in, because it's like, oh yeah, so I'm a people pleaser. I've grown up thinking that I have to be somebody for everybody else before I could be somebody for myself, right? So when you're saying that I didn't do something like take out the trash or get the dinner, meanwhile I am trying to do everything to be somebody for everybody else instead of myself, what I feel like is, oh, not only can I not be enough for me, I can't even be enough for you. Yeah. And so that insecurity that's deep down inside is layered on top of with the anger and the frustration that nuh-uh.
Yeah, but we can't even get past the first layer.
Right.
Because I'm triggered by somebody else mm-hmm. that I'm not enough. So I'm going to trigger you to be in something that you're not enough.
Right.
And the pattern just keeps on rolling. And we're not even getting down to the core mm-hmm. of how that hurts us.
Yeah.
So how does that start? How do we start that?
Start the
process? So what I'm saying is, mm-hmm. is because everybody is surface fighting about what you're doing wrong on what I'm doing wrong.
Right.
And how we're both hurt by mm-hmm. it. So, and just but we're having a discussion. First of all, have you ever noticed that after a fight and then you go to sleep, or you have to do something else and you come back to it and you're like, oh my gosh, I could have been so much kinder there. Mm-hmm. I could have said this, and this.
No, because I'm always right.
But it's like when you're not in that heightened state anymore.
Yeah.
You find yourself lowering, pushing it down, and once it just settles down and you're in a more calmer state, mm-hmm. to have a conversation like that.
Yeah.
So with the first process of before you even come to another person to have this discussion is to figure out where you are as a person. Where am I in this? What is hitting me right now? Is like before I come to you to tell you what you're doing wrong, it's like, where am I right now?
Right.
And an easy way is what like doctors and nurses do. So being in a household raised by nurses, I use the 0 to 10 scale.
Yeah.
So on a 0 to 10 scale, where are you right now? Are you 10? You're like the most activated, pissed off portion of yourself. Or are you at 0? You're in like the calm Zen state.
And you're asking yourself this.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. You're asking yourself, where are you? If you are past a 4, please do not have a conversation with your significant other.
Interesting.
Like
So
you
4,
don't
huh?
want.
Okay.
Let's just do this right now.
Sure.
So, so where? Ask yourself right now, where are you right now on a scale of 1 to 10? Can you tell me?
Yeah, and the question is, where am I on a scale of 0 to 10 on what? And
the scale being like completely
frustrated,
active,
angry. Yeah, okay.
Completely activated. I mean, even nervousness, excitedness is on that scale too.
Sure.
You know, it's not like it's not 100%. You know, it's not the 10 on the scale, but the complete activation. I'm going to scream and yell and throw a tantrum right now.
Yeah, but in a negative way, like not like I'm excited because like I'm on a podcast right now with my wife and this is awesome. That's like a 12. But no, like I'd say with regard to anger or anything like that, I'm like a 0 or 1. Yeah,
0 or 1.
Right now, yeah.
All right. And so,
but I mean, this show's still early, so I mean, we'll find out how that goes.
So say like you're a little bit heightened because you're excited too. You're to talk with me today on this podcast. So.
Yeah. I'm nervous because I'm mesmerized by your beauty, and yes.
Please continue. So it's like you're maybe like a 3 or 4, maybe if we're talking about that, but like complete Zen is like the 0 point. So so if you feel activated like that, complete activation to get you down would be moving your body, like taking a walk, doing some exercises, and then if you can sit down, and then what you want to do is take some deep breaths and try to activate your parasympathetic nervous system so that you can have these discussions and not be in that activated place.
Yeah.
Because the activated place is where you remember all the bad stuff. But when you're in the calm state, you remember a lot of joy and happiness, and because you're not in a fight or flight state.
Yeah.
So,
you know what's interesting is as you say that, like I'm becoming more self-aware of where I'm at, and you may not hear this in the audience, but like our dog upstairs the small dog is barking, and he's been barking a lot lately, and that's something that just starts to activate me and like lift that number up, and it's just like and it's not like continuous like I'm barking at somebody at the door. It's just like no reason barking of like I'm gonna bark like once every 15 seconds, like I'm a living like slobbering smoke detector that is like just that will not stop.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess I'm gonna.
Okay, so why don't we do this exercise together?
I can't go for a walk right now though, unfortunately. So what do I do?
Okay, so get in a comfortable position. Okay. It's good. I like the fact that you move in this position. That's great. So, and if you want to take maybe a deep breath in and then out through your mouth is always better. And then closing your eyes is always great. You can always stare off or close your eyes And then you want to breathe into your chest. And then make your exhale a lot longer than your inhale. Okay. If you do so, you can always put your hand on your chest so that you breathe in,
So breathing into my hand, basically. Yeah. All right.
And then next, you want to breathe into your belly.
Okay. So breathe into my belly.
And you can put your breath on your hands, on your lap, or on your belly, whatever it makes you feel more comfortable. So take a deep breath in your belly. And when I was taught this, you can keep breathing.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I was taught this, as a kid, you put your stuffed animal on your stomach and then watch your stuffed animal rise and fall. So when you're doing your belly breath, you go, and your belly expands. When you exhale, it lowers down.
Interesting. And this exercise that you're describing, what is this exercise called? Like when you're feeling that activation, what do we call it? Is it just breathing? I mean, I'm curious.
It's doing deep breathing.
Yeah.
Finding your baseline, finding your neutral space.
Finding neutral.
Yeah.
Okay.
Finding your neutral space.
Gotcha. So
you don't want to be too excited. You don't want to be too upset and angry. You want to find that space where you're.
So it sounds like you could use this in any kind of anxious situation too, or things like that, where activation may come into play. Your nervous system gets triggered, and maybe it does almost trigger something, and so that it sounds like, if I'm understanding correctly, it's a good thing to even know what neutral to you feels like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's really great. So how do you feel after just doing a few breaths of that?
Yeah, I feel good. It definitely does kind of bring me back down a little bit. And I think that the challenge is like in the moment, it's like it just still kind of obviously it's still happening. So
the dog barking.
Yeah. So I feel like it's hard to regulate when the behavior is still happening. You know what I mean? So how do we, if the behavior doesn't change and it still affects us, how do we continue to regulate or because I think for a lot of us, especially if we're in a challenging situation, which we've been in challenging situations with our daughter and all of those behaviors. I mean, how do we regulate our nervous system when the world is burning around us? Right?
Well, first of all, if you can find a way to slow your speech, slow your talk, when you're talking with somebody who might be activated, then you can slow yourself down first before responding. Because if you meet activation with activation, then it's just going to be over with. If you can be the grounding person and somebody is still activated, then you can control that narrative and not escalate it further. And my second step is you can ask politely, hey, I think this is a really hard subject right now. And I'm starting to feel activated. So I think I need to step away. I love you and I really care about you. And I really don't want to say anything that is going to hurt you because I love you so much.
Yeah.
So I think that we need to continue this conversation at a different time.
So kind of moving it to a time when you can be less activated.
Yes. Yes.
I like that you're almost saying like, okay, somebody, one of you, if you're both activated, has to kind of be the bigger person to speak up and say, look, we're both activated here. I'm feeling it. And so I'm just going to say that I understand you're angry. I love you and understand you're feeling that way. I'm going to step away so that we can just let ourselves like kind of calm down. Maybe not use the word calm down.
No, don't use the calm down.
But,
you can express your feelings of
right.
feeling activated.
Yeah.
Is the best way to do it. I'm feeling
So
activated.
focus on me and my feelings rather than saying, hey,
oh my
we
gosh,
both.
you need to calm down.
Yeah. So don't say calm down to your spouse ever.
Unless you like to be punched in the
Sure,
face.
sure. I'm guilty of that many times over. I think one of the biggest challenges is, and this feels like when that argument comes on, a lot of times it's a surprise. So maybe you or I are kind of holding something in for a while, right? Like where we're feeling like, hey, okay, well, this thing happened. It's not a big deal. And then this thing happened. It's not a big deal. Okay, I'm gonna let it go. Okay, and then this thing happened, and then all of a sudden it's like you're right. The trash thing comes in. You see your spouse put something on the trash. Are you ever gonna take that freaking trash out? And then it just blows up.
Yeah.
Right in that moment, and it comes on as a surprise. So, like, what are some tools there in that instance where we can avoid that from happening? Is it the responsibility of the person who is starting to feel that sense of like, hey, this is starting to kind of hit me, like where you're not you, but like where I'm not getting this need met or whatever, and then and because I don't want it to like escalate, we need to talk about this and resolve it somehow. Well, how do you resolve it when it's like to avoid the surprises? And then the second question, I guess, would be like, how do you respond if you're kind of the recipient of that surprise attack, so to speak?
Surprise attack.
Yeah.
So it's like two different areas there.
Yeah.
First of all, if you're feeling, oh my God, I'm so pissed off, he's not picking it up at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
There is this harsh reality that sometimes I have to come to, is the fact that it bothers me. It doesn't bother the other person. It bothers me. So take the damn trash out yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And have that in mind. It bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
So I should take the trash out.
Yeah.
That is the first solution. That is part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that will activate people too, because it's like you've told them and they should and again, in that, things never get done unless I yell at you, sort of thing. And that never solves anything with your spouse. It will, I know if I get yelled at work,
Right.
I'm going to try to avoid everything not to get yelled at the next time too.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
it's not going to stop necessarily. It's just going to make you more feeling unsafe in your relationship.
We got to read in safety.
Yeah. So basically safety comes involved in that too.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I mean, if it's bothering you, just do it really quickly, get it over with, calm down, find some place, and then what we do is we do our weekly meetings and have that discussion when we're in a non-activated state.
Yes.
State the facts. This, I know we both have to live in this space, and the trash needs to go out. And I feel that hurt because it's not getting done. I've asked you, and it's like, and then making sure that we're not getting defensive.
Yeah.
Because if somebody's asking you to do something, they're not like, their best intentions.
Mm-hmm.
They're not trying to hurt you. And just like having that second to be like, oh, this matters to her. This matters to him.
Mm-hmm.
It must be important to bring up in a meeting too.
Yeah. And I mean, from that perspective, like, there's a lot of overlap here with the idea of systems, and you brought up the meeting polls and stuff like that. It's this idea, you have to, in order for somebody to hear something the first time, you have to say it 7 times.
Yeah.
So I think that there's an element of if it's important to you, right, and you want the other person to hear it, expect to say it at least 7 times.
Yeah.
Because they won't hear it otherwise. And to think that they're going to hear it the first time, you are expecting yourself to be the only person on the planet who shares their information and expects everybody to understand it the first time, absolutely, without fail, when it's not part of the other person's operating system.
Yeah.
You're explaining your operating system to the other person, right?
Yeah.
You have to be willing to convey that 7 times. I mean, think about when you're like, if you're reading instructions for like an IKEA bookshelf, right, to put that together. Are you going to read the booklet one time and then throw it over your shoulder and say, okay, I got it, and you're going to put it together? Okay, some of you will, and fine. But the point is you're going to be actually kind of reading that and going back to it. Oh, wait, what was the type of screw there? It was the Ofnaknüft screw that I need to put in the Lefnik hole. What, that's like that. But you have to,
You're offending our Swedish.
Our Swedish contingent of Startup Spouses listeners.
Yes.
Yes. I know. Sorry, Swedish people.
Is it Sweden?
Yeah, Sweden.
I don't know.
I think so. Yeah, IKEA's Swedish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know. I'm a slow learner. Sorry. Anyway. Anyway. So where was I? Oh yeah. So 7 times. And I think to that point, it's like that you bring up an important point is like, yeah, bring up those things in the meeting, because if you're going to talk about them in your issues and talk about that issue, every time you bring up an issue, we've been like using the example of taking the trash out. And here's the thing. Everybody's like, taking the trash out. Who gives a shit? Well, that's true. Who gives a shit about taking the trash out? That's not a big deal. You know why it's not a big deal? Because that's just a symptom of a deeper root cause.
Yeah.
I'm not being heard. I'm not being understood. This is important to me. And somebody's not hearing me. And it's digging deeper into the root instead of just solving that one like bigger, deeper issue. It's learning to say, hey, say the right thing. It's not about the trash. I get the feeling, and correct me if I'm wrong, but in the moment of anger, when you're heightened at a 6 or 7 or whatever that might be, you're gonna yell and scream about the trash or the dog, right? Or whatever it is. But if you are able to collect yourself and calm yourself, you might actually understand and dig deeper and say, what is at the root of this? And then feel where your hurt actually is. Am I not being understood? Am I not feeling like I'm being heard? Am I feeling like people are not responding to my needs? And then I feel like that's the thing you want to address, rather than and then the trash is just an example. The dog might just be an example, but I feel like that approach, and please tell me how you feel about this. I feel like that approach it avoids the conflict of me telling you didn't take out the trash, and then you thinking about all of the other stuff that you did do, and that I'm nitpicking this one thing, and it gets down to the root of where I'm hurt, mm-hmm. and maybe that leads to a discussion of an issue we could put in front of us instead of between us.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're listening to this, when Adam was talking, he's saying, I'm feeling hurt, and he's pointing to his stomach, his heart mm-hmm. area. And he's like, because we don't point to our heads, and I'm feeling this. Mm. Notice that?
Yeah, I didn't even. Well, yeah, now I do.
Yeah, because that's what's good about the exercises mm-hmm. is we get the butterflies in our stomach. We get it's inner stomachs.
Yeah.
Inner core, inner body. That's where that's where our feeling comes from.
Right. Right.
So if we can tap into you're not doing things right to I'm feeling this. So to take, that's why we need to take it down to neutral, because that's where our feelings are.
So we can feel where it is in our bodies, and we can understand how it's hitting us.
Yeah, exactly. Because when you're up here too much, which society tells us that we need to be there.
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
Right.
Don't be in your bodies.
Right.
Beat your bodies up. Don't feed your bodies. Like everything's toxic. But you don't want to be in your body.
Right.
Most of the day you're not. You're in your head.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can sit back down into our bodies and really listen to what it's telling us, then we can get back to that state where we can have these discussions from our core to where we connect with each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
can I ask you, this might be a weird question.
I love weird questions.
But, and I mean, I don't know, like, I don't know if people are immediately going to resonate with this, but I think that this applies to a lot of people. That the comfort, or not the comfort, the frustration we're feeling, there's this self-righteous indignation that comes with it a lot of times.
Yeah.
That we want to sit in, that we don't want to give up, that we don't want to regulate ourselves. We want to be in that. We want to be angry because, damn it, they should have done that. And this is I want to own this. And this is so. I mean, it's likely that's covering something deeper up, but there's this sense that, like, maybe we don't want to, in a moment, let that feeling go or regulate, because we feel some sense of, weirdly, peace around the idea that our frustration is justified and we can live there. Yeah. So how do we navigate that when we almost don't want to regulate from that anger? And the reason I ask is because, yes, we do this in our relationships a lot. And yes, we do this in our society. We do this in the comment section of social media. Even when we say, "Oh man, I got to stop looking at the comment," we go right into it because we want to feel that.
Yeah, it's an intense energy that needs a place to go.
Right.
I'm not saying push down your energy, push down your anger, and just let it sit there and fester.
Yeah, you
need a place for it to go. Like there's places for, that's why do you think we have a punching bag?
Sure. Yeah.
It's like you have, you can scream into a pillow. You can, I've actually punched the pillows too. And just like have that, let that anger out, not on a person, not on a human being.
Unless you're in a dojo and you've bowed in.
No. That's still not a smart, because you're going to get hurt.
Right.
Because you're not, if you're coming from a place in martial arts and you're angry, you're going to miss the mark because you're all up. You're not thinking straight, because nobody's thinking straight when they're angry.
Right.
So that's where, having that background in martial arts and that black belt, us being black belts, is the fact that we neutralize those situations, because anger does nothing for you.
Yeah. I mean, you de-escalate a situation.
Yeah, we just de-escalate it instead of encourage it too.
Right.
But in those instances that we need to let that out. So like hitting pads, like we have hitting pads with karate. If you're having a bunch of anger, go ahead, hit those pads really super hard. Take your punch your pillows or bed or something like that, or do kicking, or go for a fast sprint.
Yeah.
Get that anger out. Scream at the top of your lungs if you can find a place where you can do that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Or into a
let
pillow. Yeah.
it go, because it's you can't just hold on to it.
Yeah. So you almost have to have an agreement with yourself to not live into that self-righteous anger, and know that it's not healthy to live there, and know that it's not, obviously not truthful.
Yeah, but just take that energy and use it, like,
Yeah.
not on people.
Yeah. 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 That makes sense. And then the next question I would have is, again, getting to root causes. Of course, there's the root of like the trash, taking the trash out or whatever. It's not about the trash. It's about something deeper.
Yeah.
Now, what if those arguments are rooted in something that truly is traumatic? And I'll use our history as an example. I mean, that we've been, of course, for the last 6 years, we've been battling a challenging disease with our daughter where on a frequent basis, our nervous systems are activated because of chaos that comes from that specific, eating disorder.
Yeah.
Where, we find out things and like the other shoe kind of drops and things like that. I know a few years ago, before like at the beginning stages of this, when we didn't really understand it as well, we would often get angry at each other for what was happening or how we were responding or something like that, and it was because it was a traumatic experience that was rooted in our fear for that and our desire to control. So what if it's not just the trash? What if it's life or death? What if it's something that is so traumatic and dramatic that is between us? How do we self-regulate in those instances? Because I just know a lot of times just like breathing or walking is not doing the trick there.
That's where therapy comes involved.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is true.
It's like
point.
You need a place to talk to a professional, especially what we were going through.
Yeah.
What we're continuing to go through is you need a professional to help you out.
Yeah.
Because that is a very, very difficult subject matter.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's some things that are just too heavy for us that we need that professional help. And I would say, even if it may not even require what we would consider a big T traumatic kind of life experience, like we were talking about there. It could be something. It could be something seemingly minimal, but like things that are just piled on top of each other. And it could be that you just need that there's a need to just kind of determine those root causes, and you can't really dig deep yourself. And therapy, I think it's important for everybody, because everybody needs some element of health, of healing.
There's some sort of crisis going on in somebody's life at one time or another.
Yeah. Well,
and I mean, even say like if you have cancer, that affects the whole family.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's definitely warrants like therapy too.
Yes.
So in those in those instances, you need more help than just breathing is really great.
Yeah.
And getting the anger out on other objects, but not the walls though. Please, not the walls.
Right.
But just having that big crisis that you're involved in requires help too. More help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that I think that at any given time we're having some element of healing and some element of strengthening. And for us, we're coaches. We don't have the medical degrees to be therapists, which is the healing side of it. Healing from deep traumatic wounds, right? Like deep trauma that requires therapy. And then there's the strengthening part, which is what we are skilled in. This is what our expertise is rooted in: Marine relationships and sex, me and business. It's just like that strengthening of those aspects. And I think it's distinguishing, like, where do you need the healing? Where do you need the strengthening? Because if you're trying to strengthen, if you're trying to run on a broken leg, you're not going to go very far. You have to have that healing element.
Yes.
And so that's an important aspect, and especially like if you find yourself, I think during that time, we found ourselves it was just often our nervous systems are so activated during that time and so unpredictably activated, which is, from a psychology standpoint, that unpredictable unpredictable or random feedback is often like the most impactful to actually create a habit. And that was exactly what we were getting with those behaviors, that was activating our nervous system so that, we were almost activated on a hair trigger. Mm-hmm. And that, so talk about taking out the trash becoming like the biggest thing. That would like be our household until we like worked in the therapy and we healed through it and we realized these strengthening techniques and we started working on ourselves. That was the effective means. So I think we've covered quite a bit, like quite a bit of simple tools that we can use when we're activated, when we get into these arguments to get back to neutral. But is there any other tools you would suggest or ideas to help to regulate during that time and help us to maybe put those issues in front of us rather than between us?
Yeah, I would say that practice. You know how yoga is a practice, meditation is a practice.
Yep.
Start at your day with doing something that will calm your nervous system down, because it'll show you that A, you know how to do it.
Yeah.
And B, that, hey, today is safe.
Right.
I can start the day from a neutral place. What needs to happen? Because we all know chaos happens throughout the day.
Yeah.
So to practice that every day is important. So not just when you need it, but just to be able to make sure that you have that tool available for yourself too.
What if your partner is not willing to do that and they're easily activated?
Again, having those conversations and I do this all the time, and my face just goes neutral when I tell you this because I think of no. Like,
you do this all the time, and is it me?
No, it's with our daughter.
Yeah.
When she's activated, and I'm having that conversation, I've learned, and my face goes whoop, like it goes to a neutral place, and I talk slower, and I say, I see you're very activated right now, and I can feel myself starting to get activated. Notice I'm slowing down my speech.
Right.
And I'm looking at her. And breathing and doing the things to model that.
Yeah.
To her. And just taking that down a notch. And then saying, most of the time we can discuss something else, or we're going to have end this conversation.
Yeah.
And that's where you need to have boundaries. You need to have boundaries because keep yourself safe and understand that even if they don't want to stop, this is your boundary, and you need to hold that.
Yeah.
Too.
I think that makes a lot of sense. And what I'm hearing in that is if the reason I ask that is because I feel like, trying to gauge a lot of the listeners who might be saying, yeah, I'm listening to this podcast. I totally get it. I'd love to do that, but my partner's just not willing, or isn't engaged in that process. And I feel like what I'm hearing there is you can't control somebody else's actions. If your partner is willing to listen to this and engage in these practices with you and like be proactive in doing that, then that's great. But ultimately one of you has to decide to be the bigger person and be the regulator. And if that's not a healthy environment, and it continues to not be a healthy environment, then that is a conversation that goes into the next level of, is this going to work out because one partner isn't willing to do the work to actually, to get through this.
Yeah.
And I think that's a difficult place to be in. And I really feel for anybody that's in that. But it does start with you to be that bigger person. In other words, you don't want to contribute to the chaos.
Yeah, on the activation level.
Yeah.
Slow down your speech.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So try to do your breathing as you're talking.
Yeah. And
I mean, you can go even like slower.
Right.
Too, and quieter.
Yeah.
Because then they have to do it. I mean, this is a great technique for kids too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So when they're heightened and stuff like that too.
Yeah. So know what is within and without your control. Mm-hmm. And I think that this is probably a good place to kind of wrap up and summarize some of those tools a bit. And so so I think today, just talking about the idea that if you're getting into that argumentative state, or you're feeling like you're escalated mm-hmm. in some way, you mentioned the scale, the 0 to 10 scale of self-evaluation.
Yeah.
So self-evaluate where you are in 0 to 10, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then once you kind of evaluate that, if you feel like you're elevated, start bringing the tools into play that can help you to bring that number down to 2 or 3 or something that is within a reasonable range to be able to think rationally. Go for a walk, do the breathing exercises of breathing in, and then when you're engaging in the conversation, in the dialogue, use the I feel kind of statements. Is that right? Like, instead of like the, hey, I hate it when you do this, but like understanding that deeper layer of the issue, not just the trash, but I'm feeling like I'm not being understood here. Exactly. And then using a call, slowing down your speech, going quieter. Mm-hmm. And that helps to kind of keep things regulated. Is that did I capture it all?
Yeah, you did. Okay, you're such a great listener.
Yeah, I think that's another great part of actually retaining a lot of that information, like, so you don't have to hear it 7 times, is to actually repeat it back. Yeah. And to say, like, this is what I've heard.
This is what I'm hearing. Yeah.
And then make the commitment if you're willing to change, don't just be arbitrarily building, okay, that'll never happen again. I mean, how often do we hear from people that, like, oh yeah, no, never happen again, and then it happens again. And it's just like, okay, you're not changing behavior and you're lying. So it's like, if you're going to make a commitment with true intent. If you are, and if not, be true to that too. Say, I'm sorry, I understand where you're coming from. I don't really agree. I don't feel that way. Mm-hmm. And again, that's not putting the issue between. You have to be very careful, I think, in those instances of taking this issue that is just an issue that has a root cause that can be solved, and then somehow letting it drift between you. Yeah, exactly. And then, like, you want to keep it in the container of, like, how do we solve this? So if it's like, and it doesn't have to be combative. If you're saying, I don't feel like I'm being understood because blah blah blah, and I'm saying, well, I see it differently because I feel this way. Yeah, you're just basically putting pinpoints of, like, of places on a map where you are. Now the goal is to build the actual directions and map to connect those dots so that you can get from point A to point B and find that common ground. Yes. Is that kind of captured?
Yeah. You captured it pretty well. Exactly.
Okay. Well, any final words before we wrap up here?
Just breathe.
Yeah. Do you want me to take out the trash?
No, take out the dog, because he's barking. This dog is he's been barking
this entire episode,
and Adam's been handling it so well.
I'm using the tools, baby. I'm using the tools.
Woo! Just Yeah, don't
Yeah.
have conversations when you're activated.
That's true. Yeah. Awesome. Well, I think that this was appreciate you sharing your knowledge and your expertise on this. I think you have tremendous amount of value to add to people and their relationships to help them to strengthen it, especially having the experience you have. And if you like this episode, please share it with a friend. Do all the things to subscribe, like, and make sure that we get the word out on this show. And if you want, we've got a great workbook that we're giving away for free that helps couples to have that connection time and to actually practice exactly what we're talking about here in a weekly container where they can meet every week, where you can meet with your spouse. You can start to work and practice that dialogue so that you can strengthen your relationship and have that constructive conversation and have constructive conflict, so that you're not always either mean-spirited or in artificial harmony, and you're not always at each other's throats.
Yeah.
So we've got that resource for you. You can download it in the show notes. Hopefully we'll have it ready by the time this episode comes out.
Yes.
If not, we'll kind of later on put it in there. But download it and start engaging in that weekly meeting practice. And thanks for joining us on Stardust Spouses this week. We'll look forward to seeing you next time.